sweet little internet friends, and welcome back to my channel. Guys, if you follow me on Instagram and Instagram stories, then you know I have been sick for what feels like forever, and I'm a really big baby about it, and I'm so upset and I just want to feel better. But that's not going to stop me from making a video. Although literally it's taken me hours to drag my ass off the couch to do this. And I apologize in advance for one, the sound of my nasally voice, two, my chafed nose, and three, the fact that I haven't put on a stitch of makeup or washed myself in like the last 4 days. You're welcome. I'm not gonna lift my arms because I have not shaved my armpits in quite some time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. For a really long time that was even on trend. But I'll spare you my shame. So I had this big plan for today that I was gonna do a cheap bathing suit haul, but I literally could not get out of the house to go get the bathing suits. So if you wanna see that, make sure you tweet me at Little Schwartzy so I know, and I will try to pull that together for next week. So this week, I thought I would take the easy way out and do a Q&A, which actually I kind of love doing because I love hearing from you guys, and I do really like doing these sit-down videos where I just chat with you. So I asked you on Twitter to send me some questions. No questions are off limits. Let's do this. At Bear of Squid asks, you and Jeff seem like you've been dating for years already. Is he the one? Question mark. It's a very nice thing to say, and honestly, like, I do feel like I have been dating him forever, and not in like a bad way, in like a good way. I'm like super comfortable with him, and things just clicked, and I feel like we went on vacation, and I wasn't nervous to go on vacation, but you know, it's like a big deal to go away with someone for that long, and like, we didn't fight once, which is honestly a first for me, in terms of like vacationing with a boyfriend. I mean, I definitely think he's the one, even though I feel like I shouldn't say that because it's so soon. Like literally, we've only been dating for 4 months. But I have a really good feeling about it. We're taking like one day at a time. Obviously, I'm 35 at this point, and I haven't rushed into like getting married. I feel like I could have in the past. It's just not my like personality. I definitely want to like wait and be 100,000% sure. But I'm feeling pretty good about it, guys. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's clap it out. Okay, next question. Okay, Miranda Lasagna says, top 3 favorite books, question mark. I love reading and have been wanting some new recommendations. I'm so excited that you guys like to read. Growing up, like, I hated reading because we were forced to do it in school, and so I was like, no, I don't want to. But all of a sudden, I have like found this newfound love for reading, and I am obsessed. So since you asked, here are my top 3 recommendations. These are all the books that I read this year, but if I had to choose 3, hands down, Girl in Pieces, favorite book of the year. It is so good. I didn't want it to end. I feel like it's a perfect movie waiting to happen. It is like a dark subject matter about a girl who is a cutter, which is obviously very sad and very dark and very complicated, but it is written so beautifully. It's a very hopeful piece, and I would definitely check this out first. Ooh, I read this in literally 2 days. That is not an exaggeration. It's because I've been sick, and so I had nothing else to do, but this is the quickest read I have yet to read. It's called The Couple Next Door, and it is a mystery. It's a page turner. It's not like overly written, not super complicated, but like the story itself is complicated in terms of like twists and turns. So if you like any sort of like mystery ID type show, this is so good. And last but not least, I realized I am the darkest person ever because all these books are so dark, but this book was my favorite book until I read Girl in Pieces. This is called Brain on Fire. It's a real story that this girl wrote about her experience with this crazy medical issue that she had. I'm not gonna tell you much about it because it is definitely worth reading. I busted through this one pretty fast too. So yes, if you guys are really interested in books and reading, specifically dark stuff, I am starting a blog, a website that will have a bunch of different things on it, but one of the sections is definitely going to be the Antisocial Book Club, and so stay tuned for that information. You guys can follow along and you can read with me. Ooh, I just nerded out, I'm so excited. Please Get Worse asks, are you excited to go to TanaCon? Dude, I'm so proud of her. I watched her video about VidCon, and then I like kind of made my own version about VidCon because you guys were asking me my thoughts on it. And I'm just like so proud of her. She's like a bold ass bitch. And I just like that she's like doing her own thing, and I want to support her, and obviously all my friends are going to be going there, and I'm definitely very excited about it. I think I'm only going to be able to be there one day on Saturday, so if you're going, make sure to find me on Saturday. It's Shelby Gates asks, what have you learned from being on YouTube so long? That I'm old. It's weird, like the trends have changed so much, and I mean, obviously I've learned like how to follow the trends and like keep an eye on what people are wanting and what people aren't wanting anymore. But also I think you just learn so much about yourself because you have like dips. It's just like life in general, or any job that you've had for like a long period of time, where there's times where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing and I just want to quit and I hate this and I feel bad about myself and I'm not as popular anymore and this and that. And then you kind of learn to switch the way you think about things and like rebuild yourself up and get excited again. And I feel like in the last couple of weeks I have like refound my like mojo, and I feel excited about YouTube, and I feel like the trick after all these years is really to just do stuff that you enjoy doing. And sure, sometimes, like last week I did a packing video and I really enjoyed doing it and I like watching those kind of videos, but it didn't get as many views as some of my other videos. But I loved doing it, and I feel like the people that ended up watching it loved watching it, and I feel like that's the point of all this, is doing stuff that I love for the people who love it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like faking something just because that's what everyone else is doing. I'm on cold medication, so I don't know if this is making sense, but that's what I learned, is to do stuff that you actually love to do, and then people will follow it. Which, like, if you are enjoying like some of my newer content, one, you're awesome. Two, if you don't mind spreading it to some of your friends that maybe don't know about me, that would be cool. I feel like I've been watching more in the comments, and especially on Instagram and Twitter, and my audience is like my age and people I like want to hang out with, and that's super cool to me, and like that makes me excited because I don't know, that's what this is all about. I'm rambling. Okay, next question. And Martha writes, I'm confused. What happened to you on the Bachelor Insider on YouTube? Girl, you tell me. Okay, so a lot of you have been asking this question, so I'm kind of like excited that you asked this so I can answer it without like, I don't know, going onto Twitter and like ranting. I worked on the Bachelor Insider. It was like the after show for The Bachelor that was actually made by the Bachelor people. Like they hired a production company and we made the series for, gosh, I think I did at least 3 or 4 seasons, and I loved it. Dream job, hands down. Had so much fun doing it. You guys all seem to love it. And I never got a call this season. No one called to tell me that they weren't doing it. It was very weird and very sad. And not only am I out of a job, but all the other people in the production, like makeup and hair and DP and director, and all of us just sort of like lost our jobs. I think it was like a money issue, but I don't know. They were always so lovely to me, and I'm not throwing shade their way, but I am kind of sad that I don't get to do it, and I'm kind of sad I never heard from them. But if you do want the show back, can you go on to Twitter and just like tweet them nicely, like not mean, but like, we want it back, at Bachelor Insider. Hit them up. Don't tell them I made this video. I missed my job. Alvarez Neela said, what made you decide to show your boyfriend on YouTube, and what was the hardest point in the relationship so far? Okay, so it was definitely weird to do because we met pretty quickly after my last relationship ended, and I know a lot of people get super judgmental about that. But it was just like the way that it happened, and like, I'm not gonna like deny that. It was just one of those like, oh my God, this is weird and this is happening, but yay. And I feel like showing my life is so exciting, and Jeff is so wonderful, and he's obviously a comedian and he's like an on-camera guy, so it's not unnatural for him to be on camera. And I asked him like a million bajillion times if it's okay and if he's ever uncomfortable to like tell me, but he like loves it and he supports me, and it's so much more fun to make videos with him. So I guess that's why I decided to just do it right away. And also I was just like so giddy. I like literally, like, you know when they're like, you just want to like stand on the rooftop and like shout out that like you're in love, like that's how I felt, but like on YouTube. The hardest part, we haven't had very many hard parts. I think maybe a little bit getting through like that first like hump of like, are you sure you're over your last relationship? Like, that's a lot for someone to digest. And like, I knew in my heart that I was, but you know, I feel like maybe that was like the first like little hurdle, but honestly been really easy. Like, I'm kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, but like hoping that I won't. Next question. Every time I talk about it, I'm gonna start to blush. At Jason Nash's my dad says, how do you feel about David and Liza breaking up? And I feel like a lot of you guys ask me that, and I don't really like know them personally at all, but I watched the video today, and I feel like they handled it so beautifully and so sweetly, and I respect both of them so much. I obviously have gone through a public YouTube breakup, and that is not easy. There's so many layers to it. Breaking up is hard enough as it is. And they handled it with grace and humor and kindness to each other. I'm glad that they took time before they did it publicly, and I mean, that's honestly one of the sweetest videos I've ever seen. I almost wanted to call Shane and be like, we should have done it like that. It was very, it was beautiful. So I feel happy for them for making mature decisions and remaining friends, and I think it's a good lesson for everyone that like there is a way to do things maturely. You know, it wasn't the right time, wasn't the right place. I'm proud of them. Don't know them, but super proud of them. And last but not least, Shane's Microwave says, in another Q&A you said something about a book and a podcast. Are we gonna have any of those soon? Why? Funny you should ask. Yes, I am working on the podcast. It's on hold for the moment. I got overwhelmed with a bunch of other stuff, but the book has been submitted and we are shooting the cover soon. So as soon as the cover is shot and done, I think we're gonna do like a book reveal, cover reveal, a proper book announcement, and I'm really excited about it. I'm really nervous about it, and I think you guys are really gonna like it. So thank you for asking. Stay tight, follow me on all the social medias so that you don't miss any of those announcements. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I definitely know this was like a nice break from me laying on the couch feeling bad for myself. I wanted to do a video on like things to do when you're sick, but I didn't know if that was anything anyone would be interested in. Again, I'm like moving into more like lifestyle stuff. So if you're feeling me on that, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter and let me know what you're liking. It's inspiring to me to hear from you guys. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I love you all so very much, and stay tuned. Friday, I think I'm gonna be able to pull out a Freaky Friday for you. And next week, hopefully we'll get to some cheap bathing suit hauls. Maybe my boyfriend will pick out my outfits and more fun stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.